The memory still haunts me. It seeps into my dreams, a chilling reminder of that night. My daughter, Lily, just 4 years old at the time, became a vessel for something sinister, something that lurked in the depths of our basement. It started subtly. Lily would stare at the basement door, her eyes wide with an unknown fear. She'd whisper about a shadow lady who sang sad songs. I dismissed it as an overactive imagination. I was wrong, dead wrong. My husband was away on business that week. It was just me, Lily, and my aging mother-in-law, Nana Elena, a devout Christian who always wore a silver crucifix. The air in our old house was heavy with dread. The silence was broken only by the creaking floorboards and the occasional scurrying sound from the basement. The silence was the worst part. It was an oppressive, suffocating silence that seemed to amplify every little sound. A floorboard creaking upstairs, the rustling of leaves against the window pane. Each noise sent shivers down my spine. Lily's demeanor changed. Her once bright eyes were now clouded with fear. She refused to go near the basement door, let alone speak of the shadow lady. But I knew she still saw her. I could see it in her eyes. Nana Eleanor, ever vigilant, noticed it too. She'd clutch her rosary, her lips moving in silent prayer. She insisted on blessing the house with holy water, but it only seemed to agitate whatever was lurking in the shadows. The basement was always cold, damp, and smelled of mildew. It was a place of forgotten memories and discarded dreams. A single bare bulb cast long, eerie shadows that danced and swayed with the slightest breeze. One evening, while preparing dinner, I heard a crash from the basement. My heart pounded in my chest. I cautiously made my way down the creaking wooden steps, each step amplifying the fear that gnawed at my insides. The air grew colder as I descended. The musty smell intensified, making me gag. I fumbled for the light switch, my hand trembling. As the dim bulb flickered to life, I saw it, Lily's teddy bear lying on the floor, ripped to shreds. That night, sleep was impossible. Every creak of the house, every whisper of wind sounded like a threat. Lily woke up screaming, her tiny body trembling uncontrollably. "Mummy!" she cried, pointing a shaking finger at the television, which was turned off. "The black woman, she's in the basement. She wants to take me." Terror gripped my heart. Lily's eyes were wide with a fear I'd never seen before. It wasn't the fear of a child's nightmare. It was something far more ancient, far more primal. Nana Elena rushed into the room, her rosary beads clicking frantically. She scooped Lily into her arms and began to pray fervently in her native Tagalog. The words washed over us, a desperate plea for protection against the unseen. "Our Father who are in heaven," she chanted, clutching the silver crucifix that hung around her neck. "Hallowed be thy name." Her voice was strong, unwavering in its faith, but even her prayers couldn't completely dispel the sense of dread that had settled over the house. The air crackled with an unseen energy. Lily continued to tremble in Nana Elena's arms, her gaze still fixed on the blank television screen. Then she spoke, but the words that came out of her mouth were not her own. She spoke in a deep, guttural voice, a language ancient and unknown. The words seemed to claw at the edges of our sanity, each syllable dripping with malice. My blood ran cold. This was not my Lily. This was something else, something evil, using her as a conduit. Panic surged through me. We had to get out, escape the clutches of whatever evil had taken root in our home. I grabbed Lily's favourite blanket, the one Nana Elena had knitted for her, and wrapped her tightly in it. Without a word, we fled into the night. We didn't pack bags, didn't grab valuables, we simply ran. The house loomed behind us, a silhouette against the moonlit sky, its windows like watchful eyes. As we drove away, I could feel its presence, cold and menacing, following us. The fear was palpable, a suffocating weight in the confined space of the car. We never went back to that house. The memory of that night, of Lily's terror and the chilling words she spoke, remained etched in our minds. The fear, although dulled by time, lingered like a shadow. Lily never spoke of that night again. She grew up, seemingly unscathed by the experience, but I knew deep down that something had changed within her. Something had awakened in the darkness of that basement, and it would forever be a part of her, lurking just beneath the surface. We built a new life, far away from the horrors of that house, but the memory remained, a constant reminder of the darkness that lurks just beyond the veil of our reality. We never spoke of the basement again. It was a silent agreement, a pact to keep the terror at bay. But some wounds run too deep, some fears too primal to ever truly forget. The experience taught me a valuable lesson. There are forces in this world that we cannot comprehend, evils that lurk in the shadows, waiting for the opportune moment to break through. And sometimes the only escape is to run and never look back.